This is a video of setup of a tent of the Northwest Assembly model, can't read it, 6826015R-2. First, you're going to lay your tent out on the ground and assemble your two long poles. The important part is getting these end pieces in the right places. On the very ends of the two long poles are pieces that look like this. Slid into the center are these pieces that look like this. And once again, you can see all the way down on the ends are those pieces again that look like that. We're now assembling the roof ridge by putting the red poles into the end hubs. You should have 5 red poles, and you will put 2 in each of the ends and 1 in the very back of the top ridge pole and 1 in the center of the top ridge pole. This forms the V of your roof. Next, you're going to insert the blue pole opposite the red ridge pole that went from the 2 long poles that you put in, and that one's going to go forward into the peak of the cabin. You'll put the piece that connects your yellow poles. It should have yellow dots on each corner and a blue dot, and this is going to connect the very peak that sticks out in the front of your cabin. So at this point, your framework looks like this from front to back. This point sticks out much farther than your 2 long ridge poles that are coming out, creating the width of your tent. The next step is to take pieces that look like this, with the green on the other end, and there's only 2 that look like that, and the yellow end goes into there. That's the long end of the Y piece, and into each of your yellow poles.
Makes sense.
Next, we're going to put the steel front eave poles on. Those come out from the Y-shaped hub. So they're connected to that Y piece and these red and green pieces. And you can hear them snap in. Now you can see we've created the front eave of the tent. The next step is to put your poles that are marked G down for the legs. You can tell which ones are G.
Are they straight?
Because they're going to have a pin in them that looks like this. Here's the framework set up completely. You can see, well, it's kind of hard to see, but so the first thing you do is you set up the whole framework of the tent. Now we're attaching the tent, which has been laid out ahead of time, with the brass S-hooks to the holes that are on the bottom side of the plastic pieces that we use to put the tent poles together. Here it is. Here's the country cabin all set up now successfully. The Olympic Cottage. And I'm going to say it's not that easy until you figure it out. The most important thing is figuring out where these little hubs go. That's the toughest part. But once you get them in the right place, I would recommend looking at all your hubs, making sure you have them labeled right, and looking at all of your little bars, your poles, and making sure they're labeled correctly. Once you get all that, it's easy. You just put up the framework, clip the tent up to the framework. We don't have the rain tarp on right now, but clip the tent up onto it and you are good to go. If you look inside, there's closets in there and a little place to hang up your stuff. So happy camping.